Hello, this is Tammy Parrish from the Clothing Compass, and welcome to this Confident on Stage speaker series. Today I'm interviewing David Chislett. Welcome, David. David is a creativity activator, turning human beings into weapons of mass creation, one at a time. So David, thanks for being with me. And I know you do a lot of public speaking. I saw you last year in Amsterdam at the Spark conference. And so you do this all the time. And I want to ask a couple questions about your experience. The first thing is, what would you describe as the biggest return on investment that you have gotten out of public speaking until now?
I would say, as an ongoing return on investment, always is further bookings. You've done really well when someone out of the audience comes up and says, "Hey, that was great. I'd like to book you for my company or for my event." And even better when the actual host comes up and says, "I want you to come back again next time." So for me, that's the biggest return on investment. That's why I always put in a lot of the hard yards up front to make sure that whether I'm speaking to 2 or 200 people, the wow factor is really there, because in my experience, the best way to get more work as a speaker is to get people to see you speaking.
Yes. And if you had to give a tip to other speakers, what might it be?
Well, I think there's 2 things that are really important. One is that you've actually got to have a story. I for many years had lots of ideas, but I didn't really have a story. And so a lot of my attempts to launch myself as a keynote speaker kind of failed because there was nothing hanging all of these ideas together, which is something I've subsequently sorted out. The second thing is that you've got to be totally comfortable with yourself on stage. You can't be worrying about whether you're, wearing the right clothes, got the right haircut, or any of that kind of stuff, because when you're in front of a live audience, people are extraordinarily perceptive. They will pick up your uncomfortableness. It will detract from your message. So you've got to be ready to be able to walk out there in whatever state that you're in at that moment and just be it and embrace it.
And how do you get to that state? Are there tips you have about how to get comfortable with all of that stuff?
Well, first of all, I think, you've just got to keep on doing it. You've got to keep on turning up, and you've got to keep on listening to the feedback, and you've got to ask for feedback. And particularly, you've got to ask for feedback that's not, "Yeah, that was great." You've got to say to people, "What could I do better?" And you've got to listen really carefully. It won't all be helpful, but there will always be things that you'll recognize immediately. You'll kind of go, "Oh, yeah, that didn't go well." So keep on showing up, get on stage as much as you can, and always ask for feedback, constructive criticism.
Yeah. And I'm curious if you have a memory of a presentation you've given and something you were wearing, how you looked that day and how it made you feel in a positive sense. And if you can describe that feeling and also what it was that you had on.
Well, I must say my wardrobe doesn't differ very much. I'm generally in a pair of black jeans and either a shirt, a collared shirt, or a t-shirt. And because that's what I wear every day, I'm generally very comfortable in an outfit like that. So I don't have to worry about having wardrobe malfunctions or anything like that. So I suppose for me, the one that really sticks in my mind was a presentation I did recently at a women's business networking event here in Amsterdam called in English, the Blonde Table, where I'm in front of a room full of kind of 35 plus Dutch business women, and I'm wearing a t-shirt that says "The Weapons of Mass Creation" with a great nuclear radiation warning sign on it, with all my tattoos showing in a Mohican. And it was perfect because it really set people a bit on edge. They weren't sure what to expect. And then once the content started to land, they were like, "Oh, okay, I get it." So it was nice. It was a good juxtaposition of, I've been speaking for a long time, so I can do it. I'm not particularly hesitant or shy about saying that. And then when they see someone dressed like I was dressed that night, I think the assumption is that maybe this guy's not really a good speaker, and it worked really well.
And let's say your uniform is a t-shirt and jeans, but how do you pick which t-shirt? I mean, there's usually some kind of logo or design on it. Do you think about that? Or are you, in this case, maybe that was your uniform, but you probably knew it would cause a little bit of tension.
Yeah. Well, I've kind of got two payoff lines which I work with a lot of the time in my current keynote approach. And the one is that all human beings are, in fact, weapons of mass creation. So I made my own T-shirt with that on it. And then the other one is my three-part logo, Rebel, Reject, Create, which is the other T-shirt that I'm wearing today.
Rebel, Reject, Create.
Yeah, so I've created my own merchandise, and that's what I wear when I get up on stage, so that everything resonates with my message.
And your personal brand. Very good.
Yes.
Thank you. David, you do a lot of keynote presenting, and you can obviously also do this remotely. You don't need to be standing in a room full of hundreds of people. You can do this via video, live stream, etc. I'm assuming. And if people, I'm going to link to your website and your LinkedIn profile. Mm-hmm. And what's the best way to get in touch with you?
Well, I think it depends on your preference. There's a contact form on my website, so that's easy enough to just fill in and drop me a line. And of course, I'm on LinkedIn, so you can send me a message there as well, easily enough.
And tell me, you mentioned it earlier, but tell me again your two main, when you're presenting, you have two sort of main themes that you're...
Well, actually, that's turned into four now.
Tell me. Okay, tell us the four.
But it all revolves around creativity on one level or another. So the major keynote that I'm going out with is called The Weapons of Mass Creation. And it's about this idea that everybody on this planet who is a human being is creative, but a lot of us just don't realize it. And therefore we are unconscious of how it actually works and how to get the best out of it. And that keynote's all about unpacking how to do that. And then I also linked to that is the second one, which is called Igniting Innovation Culture, which is doing that on an organizational basis. How can you change your space and the way you run your business in order to activate people to come up with more better ideas and solve problems? And then there's the Rockstar Rules, which is kind of like the Weapons of Mass Creation, but it's more focusing on the idea that rock stars do a whole bunch of really interesting stuff on a business level that people aren't aware of, that we could all learn from. The fourth one is called AI and I, which is about how there's a lot of fear out there that AI is going to take over all of our jobs. And actually, AI is way more limited than a lot of people think. And one of the things that AI is nowhere near being able to do now, and will possibly never be able to do, is come up with spontaneous, original ideas and solve problems in the way that humans can. But again, you need to understand how that works in order to weaponize your own capacity to do that, so that your job doesn't get taken by a computer. That
seems especially relevant to almost all sectors, I think.
Yeah, no, I mean, lawyers are losing their jobs. So, yeah, it's not just the people that everyone assumes it's going to be like factory workers.
Right. Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it.
It's been a pleasure chatting to you. Thank you.
Thank you.